Do not chant the name of Buddha Shakyamuni. Chu Van Sun asked the Tao. Thank you very much, I hope you can teach me more. I have only studied Buddhism for less than 2 years, I am returning to practice according to the teachings of the Buddha. Currently, I am bowing to your name and meditating on the name Namo Sakyamuni Buddha. I am learning about the names Amitabha, Avalokiteshvara, etc., who they are and where they come from, to strengthen my faith in practicing Theravada Buddhism. Please advise me. Reply. I told you that I have only been studying Buddhism for 2 years and I am studying Theravada Buddhism. This is indeed my blessing. Why so? Because I am not prejudiced, stubborn, attached, stubborn, and bound to my life in an irreversible mistake. However, due to the influence of inherited mistakes from the propagation of the Mahayana heresy, I cannot avoid it. Therefore, I will explain each part clearly so that you can decide your own fate. 1 Roman. Never put the name of Buddha Shakyamuni into your mind. 1. Because Buddha Shakyamuni, as well as the elder Thich Thong Lak, always let Buddhists know that, I am the one who shows you the way, whether you go or not is your decision. Just like in school, the lecturer is the one who teaches us to learn. Whether we learn or not is our own decision. After we finish studying, we apply what we have learned to life. We no longer know who the lecturer is. In society, we, teachers and everyone are equal before the law. The same goes for Buddha Dharma. After completing our practice, our lives, and those of everyone who has successfully practiced will be liberated equally, and we will be on par with Buddha. 2. Buddha taught that, whoever relies on my appearance and calls out to me for something will never meet Tathagata. If anyone practices my Dharma and enters into his mind, he will meet Tathagata. Why is that? Because when the Buddha's teachings enter our minds, we conquer ourselves, we master ourselves, and we have liberated ourselves from our life of suffering. If we put the Buddha's name into our mind, we become slaves to Buddha, and we become slaves to those who use Buddha to deceive and manipulate us. 2 Roman. I think I am meditating on the Buddha's name. This is because I have been influenced by the Chinese patriarchs who have been teaching the wrong Dharma of Buddha Shakyamuni for over 2,500 years. Now I would like to explain to you that 1. You are a Buddhist, you should never care about meditation. If you still think about Zen, then you have put the plow before the buffalo. That means the buffalo will run after the plow forever, becoming a slave for life. If you still think and are addicted to Zen, then Zen will lead you into far-off thoughts. When you decide to practice, you will get lost in the path of thoughts, wasting your life's practice. I want to know what meditation is. Please take the time to read the teacher's lectures on Ronald Truong's Facebook page, or many websites that post the teacher's lectures. Currently there is a website of teacher Tan Tien, thaytikkati2han.net. 2. You are a Buddhist, you should first get acquainted with Buddhist teachings. Although the Dharma is easy, if you don't practice it, you won't be able to practice it. Why so? Because the bad habits in my body and mind are cultivated, accumulated and developed to the fullest until adulthood. There is no way I can give them up. To make it easier to understand, consider the love and affection in the family, at school, in society. There is no way to say that you can give it up. To give it up halfway is an evil act, is breaking the precepts, and is not being able to practice as desired. Therefore, I advise everyone to practice and use reason to practice the 6 basic methods. 3. You should know that Buddha Shakyamuni is a scholar who discovered the truth of the 4 noble truths and the practices for us to practice. These practices were recorded by more than 500 practitioners who attained arahantship, the practices taught by the Buddha in the Nikaya Sutras, and translated into Vietnamese by the most venerable Buddhist Dr. Thich Minh Chau. If you have the real ability to understand, that's great. But if you want to understand as you wish, you should read The Path to Buddha's Land and the original teachings of Buddha by Venerable Thich Thong Lak. He explains very clearly, exactly the original teachings of Buddha on the page nguyentuichanu.net, thuvianthaythonglak.net. 4. Once you decide to practice, don't ever think about meditation, okay? First, you must bring the Buddha's teachings into your mind. Once the Buddha's teachings enter your mind, your wisdom will shine brightly. From there, you should decide to meditate. And surely your monastic life will not get bogged down. It is because of the wisdom gained, it leads me to the right path of practice to attain mastery over birth, aging, sickness, death and liberation from making people suffer. To make you understand, like in school, you learn and pass the exam knowledge. Thanks to the knowledge you have, you enter life, you solve all the problems in the profession you study wonderfully as you wish. 5. Now I understand that you advised me never to think about Zen, right? Meditation is the final stage of a monk's life. To enter meditation, you must first create wisdom. To create wisdom, you must bring the Buddha's teachings into your mind. If you want to bring the Buddha's teachings into your heart, you must live alone and eat one meal a day, without spending any money. Thanks to that, you can leave desire, leave evil, and increase good, then the Buddha's teachings will enter your heart. 6. If you want to strengthen your faith, you must understand that Buddha Dharma is a practice that can be experienced on the body. Even if you study all the Buddhist teachings recorded in the Nikaya Sutras, it will be useless. Because the Buddhist teachings are the teachings of practice, if I do not practice the Buddha's teachings correctly, what basis do I have to believe? Buddhist PhD is a game of heresy, luring practitioners into infatuation with illusory theories, which are of no benefit to their practice. Chanting sutras and knocking wooden fish is not practice, but chasing after illusory and far-fetched pleas from others, without knowing or realizing it. 3 Romans. Buddha clearly taught that faith must have a basis, must be visible, must be tangible, right view. We must think clearly about whether it is good or bad. If it is good, then we can accept it, right thinking. If I don't directly experience it in my body and mind, how can I know to have faith? When you look at people, others, they know, and in the end, you vaguely and illusorily follow and become their slave without knowing it. If they think it's good, you praise it. If they think it's bad, you imitate and criticize it. When you see people clasp their hands and kneel before a rock, you follow them and bow blindly and vaguely, without knowing what to bow to. 1. I want to know Amitba, Maitreya, fake or real? It's so easy, my child. You read the sutra when Buddha attained enlightenment, he declared to the world. From there, then you use right thinking and it will come out right away. In heaven and on earth, I alone am the most honored. In all the world, birth, aging, sickness and death. Meaning, before me there was no Buddha. 2. If there was a Buddha before Buddha, would Buddha be so arrogant that he would claim that he was the only Buddha? Especially the third group of Chinese people lied that before Buddha there were thousands of Buddhas. Was Buddha so foolish that he didn't know that there were thousands of Buddhas flying around in space? Are we really that stupid and being fooled? Wake up! Note 1. Thanks to the advancement of science, medical science has developed in a variety of ways, helping people live longer. But being human is only for eating, sleeping, having sex, and going to the poop, so what is the benefit of living long? Ask to think, reflect, and then answer. 2. Buddhists and monks need to clearly remember, all activities in the world that aim to satisfy physical desires are evil. Abortion, murder, and killing animals are all evil. Even love and affection between people are also evil. The Buddha calls it the bondage of love. But in social life, the strong win and the weak lose. In all organized human social activities, if we want to protect each other to survive, each person must accept to blend into the group that has been arranged. If not, we must be eliminated. Therefore, abortion, murder, killing animals, killing insects to protect crops, killing insects to build houses, facilities, learning all kinds of professions, producing weapons to fight. We want to live in this world, so we are like everyone else. However, each person must also bear the law of cause and effect for his or her actions through body, mouth, and mind. 3. Those who, through the Four Noble Truths, realize that our life is temporary and full of suffering, will close the door on themselves and fight with themselves. we abandon desire, abandon evil, and increase good to escape being a worldly person. We silently practice the Buddha's teachings, and it has nothing to do with anyone. If we want to practice and attain enlightenment, we must first become familiar with the Buddha's teachings by using the right intention to practice the 6 basic methods. Until our mind is familiar, then we should enter the holy stream of practice, choose a method we like, then diligently practice until that method enters our mind becomes a liberated mind. That's it. If you can't practice, just live normally like everyone else. The right Dharma does not force or entice anyone.